Love is not weak, it is strong. Only the sacrament of marriage can contain it. Boris Pasternak. Assalamu alaikum to all of my viewers out there. I hope everybody's feeling blessed. I hope everybody's protecting themselves and their families, and I hope everyone's doing well. You are now watching the Lies They Tell podcast. This is episode 4, The War on Marriage. And I'm not going to be super animated in this one like I was in my last one with the intro because of just um, I mean, you guys will figure that out in a second. But let me just say this really quickly, right? Please, please, please like, share, subscribe. You know what I mean? This lets me know that I'm reaching out to you guys and my words are not falling on deaf ears. It encourages me to make more content for you all from the bottom of my heart. And I just want to thank everyone who has supported me thus far. Also, please comment, talk to me. Let me know what you liked about the video. Let me know what you didn't like. I'm open to all forms of communication, right? As far as that goes. Now, um, I'm just gonna get right into it. Last night I was talking and I was having a conversation with a group of like-minded people, right? And as we got deeper into the conversation, as adults do, we started to talk about the concept of marriage, commitment, love, right? Finding the right one, right? And I swear, man, I looked around the room, men and women alike. One thing that kept standing out to me, and one thing that was like that kept jumping out at me was this sense of fear. Men and women alike are afraid. And, it took me to look within myself and ask myself, where is this fear coming from? Right? Not all fear is bad fear, and not all fear is unwarranted. Some fear is very, very necessary. Some fears are warranted, and some fears we make up in our mind. Now, this is my take on it, and I wanted to bring you guys in on this conversation, right? Because I consider all of my viewers like-minded people. Whether we acknowledge it or not, whether we like it or not, whether we accept it or not, whether we even know it or not, there is a war being waged, that has been waged, on love and marriage. And this war is being financed, and it is being literally like funded by very, very powerful people and corporations. There are millions, if not billions, of dollars being poured into the idea of breaking the household apart. Everywhere I look, I talk to sisters, and they have this constant fear, right, of their man mistreating them, their man abusing them. Some of these fears, like I said, are warranted because some of these sisters actually have that experience. And I respect that, and I completely understand, and I feel for you, sister. I have 5 sisters and about 7 nieces. I have a mom. I have women in my life who are important to me, and any time of day I will always prioritize those women over my male ego, right? But then I see, and specifically in my community, I talk to these sisters and they have this constant fear of, oh my God, I'm gonna get married, and once I get married, the husband, Somali men, what they do is they get their wife pregnant. Once their wife has a baby and her body changes, the woman goes through postpartum depression. She may not be happy, and instead of the husband supporting her, he goes out and he finds another woman and he marries another woman. We are Muslim, right? So like, this concept of 4 women being permissible for a man comes out every single time. And, you know, there's some truth to that. There are men who are dogs out there. There are men who are men just for the simple fact of their reproductive organs. They don't think like men. They don't move like men. They don't handle their responsibilities. They don't take care of the people they love. They don't protect the people that they care about and that care about them. These men are one group of men. But then I look at the group of sisters who consistently speak about this fear that they have. And I respect it. But you know what I realize more often than not is that most of these sisters who have this fear have never even been through that before. They are completely afraid of something they have never experienced before. They are completely afraid of something that no one that they know has experienced before. They are afraid because they have heard stories of women who have been done this way by other men. Women that they don't know, women that they've never seen, they've never had a conversation with. In my opinion, we have to know the difference between listening to people. When we listen to people, we have to know the difference between someone who is giving us a perspective and an opinion, and when someone is fear mongering, when someone is projecting. You are never going to be ready for marriage, man or woman. If you have never been married before, let me say that again for the people in the back. If you have never been married before, you will never in your life be ready for marriage. So this concept or this idea of I'll get married when I'm ready to, I'll find love and I'll settle down when I'm ready to, does not exist. You cannot be ready for something you have never experienced before. It is new. It is new to you. And because it is new to you, there are a certain amount of lessons to be learned from that journey that you're about to embark on or that you are afraid of embarking on, right? I just had to get that piece up. Now, let me go back to the war on marriage, right? And love. I was listening to something on YouTube a while back. I don't really recall what it was. I was listening to one of the men mentioned, Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, right? Two of the richest men in the world. And I remember this man said, "Hey, like, Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates, two of the richest men in the world, are getting a divorce. Even they couldn't keep a woman. So where does an average guy like us stand?" You know, initially when I heard those words, it kind of resonated with me. I was like, yeah, shit. Where does that leave me? Right? Because I'm one of the regular guys. I'm like, where does that leave me? Where does that leave the brothers that are like me? If those brothers who can literally go out and just buy an island for that woman cannot keep that woman, where does that leave me? The 40, 50, $60,000 a year earning brother. So, and I looped back to that, right, after a couple of days, and it kind of just it wasn't sitting well with me. Something about it wasn't sitting well with my spirit, right? Because somehow, alhamdulillah, praise be to Allah, that I was able to identify that something was put onto my spirit that wasn't correct for whatever reason it may have been, right? Now, a couple of days later, it kind of those words kind of came back to me, and I thought about it, and I said, that's called fear mongering. That man literally set out to discourage and to destroy any hopes that any of his listeners had when it comes to finding a good woman, when it comes to providing for a woman and having that woman be happy with him, raising children, being a man, being a father. And that's just one instance as a man that I've experienced of another man projecting his fears onto me or trying to make me afraid of marriage. This is a very successful brother. I'm not I don't remember exactly where this was. It was on a podcast. It was on a video podcast, but I'm not going to go, even if I remembered it, I would not say his name. But this is a very popular video podcast that I saw this on. Millions of views. Now imagine how many brothers may not be the type of brothers who revisit what they've heard or what they've seen and ask themselves, is this right or wrong? Remember how, now think about how many sisters are being influenced by pop culture, by the media. You don't need a man. You can make your own money. You can go and buy that house on your own and get that car and pay for it on your own. Yes, you can, but do you really want to is the question. Do you really want to be alone? Is it really that worth it? Is your pride as a woman, to be able to say, no man can tell me what to do? Is that little bit really worth not having a partner to share a home with, not having a father who is dutiful to his children in your life as a woman? Is that really worth that? I think last night I made a promise to myself. I don't think that. I know I made a promise to myself, right? And I promised myself that from now on, I will never again be dismissive of any woman who shares fear, who shares, doubt, who shares hurt, no matter how it may come across, whether it comes off being attacking men or not. I will never again be dismissive of that, because that is the agenda. The agenda, the whole game is not just to make you afraid, but it's also to make you afraid to the extent where you begin to be dismissive of other people when they like have an opinion that is different to yours, that may not align with your ideologies. And I truly hope that with this episode that I can inspire other brothers and other sisters to look at themselves and to promise themselves that they will never again be dismissive of anyone else, anyone else of the opposite gender, even if you completely disagree with what they are saying. Use your own mind. You have one for a reason. Use your own experiences. That is your journey. Listen, learn, educate yourself, and then make an educated decision about what it is that is best for you. It does not matter that your favorite singer doesn't need a man. It does not matter that your favorite rapper doesn't need a woman or can't love a woman, right? We don't love them O's, right? It doesn't matter that they feel like that. How do you feel? What are your experiences? Some of these people that are expressing all of this fear and hurt and resentment towards the opposite sex have been blessed with good men and women in their lives, good mothers, good fathers, good siblings. But because they have spent the better portion of their adolescence and their young adulthood being beat upside the head with the idea that the opposite gender is only there to abuse you, they have no, they can't allow themselves to feel that love. They cannot allow themselves. They are unable to. I think that every single one of us is responsible for ourselves. You know, there was a brother who said something in our conversation last night. He said that, I want a woman. This is a Somali brother, by the way, right? A Muslim brother. He said, I want a woman who is a stay-at-home wife. I don't want her to work. I don't want her to do nothing. I want her to have my babies, and I want her to raise those babies at home, and I will provide everything she wants. They jumped at his throat. Sisters jumped at his neck for that. Now, here's my question, right? And this is what I was wondering at the time, although I did not say anything, because our sisters could get a little scary, right? And at times when people have something on their heart that they need to get off, it's better to let them have that for that moment, right? But after everything kind of, the dust kind of settled, I want to say, right? I asked them, I was like, why does that bother you? Why does that really bother you? He never said, I want this woman right now in this conversation to drop everything she is doing in her life and be a housewife and not go to work and not do nothing and literally take care of my baby. He never said that. He never mentioned you. So why are you reacting the way you are reacting to this man and his like opinion and his likes, what he wants? It's not about me agreeing or not. It's not about you agreeing or not. The thing is, this man at this point is in a better position than all of us, because at the very least, he knows what he wants. He knows what's going to work for him and what doesn't. And vice versa. I've seen sisters express complete resentment towards men, and some men get so like aggravated and angry. Why? I'm kind of, I kind of veered off of what I want to say. Obviously, as you guys may know, there are so many different parts to this kind of conversation, to this topic. There's so many different dynamics, there's so many different angles that we can take. But the angle I choose to take is understanding one another. Let the people that feel like it works for them to be alone, let them be alone. They have every right to it. But don't follow anyone blindly to the point where you don't know if that's really what you want or not. I It's very hurtful and it's very heartbreaking, right? We come up, I came up in a very loving household. I grew up your average knucklehead, right? I was a knucklehead. Didn't care about what nobody said, did whatever I wanted to do, however I wanted to do it. But through all of the adversities and everything negative that I've ever been through in my life, the fact that my parents stayed together and loved each other and I was able to experience that for better or for worse, I believe saved my life. Can a woman raise a child by herself? Yes. Can a man raise a child by himself? Yes. Is that what you really want for your life? Is that what you want? Do you want to be that woman that raises that child alone? Do you want to be that man that raises that child alone? You figure out the answer to that, and you'll be in a better place. I promise. I'm not going to hold you guys too much longer. Thank you so much. And that's all I had to say. God bless.